Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows, and then I come over here and I react to them. And I'm devastated today. I'm absolutely devastated because it's over. Sister Wives is over. Well, for now. For now. We don't know if there's going to be a season 20. I have been looking so hard to see if there was going to be a season 20 to let you guys know. I can't find any confirmation anywhere. People have said that McKelty said in a live stream something about filming. See, I don't know. And Judy Brown and Christine Brown-Woolley. Does she still? Anyway, so many people have said that people said stuff in live streams. I don't know. That could all just be to keep people interested in them. There might not be any truth to that whatsoever. To be honest with you, after watching the final part of the one-on-ones, it seemed like they closed up a lot of storylines. I'm not really sure what they will do with the season 20, unless they completely revamp the show. I just can't imagine that they're going to pick up, like, well, here's what's going on with Coyote Pass. I just think it's probably lost. I didn't even look at the ratings to see what the ratings are at this point, but I have to believe that there's so much interest that's lost in it. In all honesty, I have more fun reacting to the show than I do watching the show. And if I was just somebody out there watching it, I probably would have stopped watching it midway through the season if I wasn't doing reactions to it over here. But I am, and I love my Sister Wives reactions. And I have a good one for you today. I have lots of notes. We found out some surprises. We found out what the real Sister Wives closet is. The real Sister Wives closet, allegedly, is where Kody Brown has been living for the last 35 years. Came out. I don't know why it's all missed on them. Christine was clueless about the closet that Kody Brown has been living in for the last 35 years, but we're going to talk about that today. But a lot of people have been speculating if the next season is just going to be like the 3 ex-wives and Robyn and Cody will be out. I don't really know what they would do for money because their bread and butter is all Sister Wives. I looked it up for the last week's reaction and found out that each one of the main people on the show makes about $40,000 an episode, which means this season, people speculated they made close to $960,000 each of them. So that's, Cody gets $960,000, Robyn gets $960,000. So that's, $2 million that they're bringing in for income. I can't imagine he's making that much off of his gun sales at swap meets. So that means that if they don't have the show anymore financially, he's so worried about money all the time. I don't really know what the Cody and Robyn Brown would do for money. I guess she'd have to set up a kiosk in the mall, Sister Wives Closet, where you can go in and get your eyebrows done or something like that. And then you'd want to stay in the closet after she did your eyebrows. She's so pretty, that diesel model, Robyn Brown. But anyway, so I don't know what they're going to do for the next season. If there's, people have been speculating that maybe there's going to be like a spinoff of the exes, like Sister Wives exes or something. I actually would kind of like a crossover. I'm real into crossover shows, okay? Like when they take castmates from one and they put them in another show. And I think the perfect crossover, okay, for Robyn and Cody Brown. Robyn and Cody are so concerned about their daughters, Brisha, mattress, and pillowcase. They are so worried about those daughters meeting the right man in church, And then Cody, it came out again that he's worried that, some man's going to find Robyn in the church that she's taking her daughter. I think they're missing out on a missed opportunity. Now, I would take that Brisha. I would take Brisha straight. I would park straight outside of the state penitentiary, okay? I'd go right to the Arizona State Penitentiary, and I would park out there every day and have Miss Brisha out there, okay, with a sign. I would have her signed up to every prison pen pal site in the entire world, because I'm telling you right now, Brisha, if you are watching this, or Brianna, or whatever your name is, I don't care, but Brisha, listen, okay? If you could get your ass on, I love Love After Lockup, okay? If you could get your ass on Love After Lockup, dating some convict in prison, baby, people would love the crossover of Brisha from Sister Wives being on Love After Lockup. You could get on Love During Lockup, Life After Lockup, baby, you get the whole show, okay? Brisha, F your mom and dad, okay? You need to be thinking about your future, and your future ain't sitting in no church getting baptized, okay? Your future is in the church of the convict, okay? Your future is getting on Love After Lockup. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. Because this show is dead. This show is absolutely dead, all right? Speaking of that, okay, since this is my last coverage for a while, we don't until season 20, I'm kind of like devastated because I have so much fun doing these reactions that if season 20 doesn't come around, and this could be, you guys, this could be my last ever Sister Wives coverage ever. I mean, I would be devastated. But anyway, just to let you guys know and 1,000 Pound Sisters just ended last week. To let you guys know some of the shows that I will be covering regularly over here. I will be covering my new favorite reality show over on TLC, which is 1,000 Pound Roomies. I did my coverage of the first episode last week. Tomorrow, I will be doing my coverage of the second episode, and then sometime later this week, I'll be doing my coverage of the third episode. And then I will be also covering TLC's new show called Virgins. TLC Virgins. They're just a bunch of virgins. Just a bunch of virgins, just hanging out being virgins, I guess. I don't know, but I can't wait to watch that show. People have been sending it to me all day long. I'm like, what is this? A bunch of virgins? I can't wait. Oh my God. Is Brisha on the show? I can't wait. A bunch of virgins. Anyway, so I'm going to be covering those two shows. I've got a lot of true crime coming for you guys. And also, I am binge watching all of Love After Lockup. I am currently on season 2, episode, I think it's like 34, and it is the second part of Love. It was Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup. Now I'm on Love After Lockup. Then it's Love During Lockup, and then Life After Lockup again. And then I'm binge watching every season. Okay, so I might do some reactions here and there to it throughout the summer. But in August, when Life After Lockup comes back, I will be doing weekly coverage of Life After Lockup, and then anything Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love During Lockup. Going forward, I will be covering over here regularly. Okay, so let's get into part 4, the final part, the end, the closure. Thank you, Jesus! I thought I was having a spiritual awakening when I hit my iPad and I saw I had 2 minutes left of the show. I was like, oh, speaking in tongues, baby. Thank you, Jesus. The show is finally over. So anyway, this was part 4 of the Sister Wives reunion, but it's not really a reunion. Okay. So this is the final chapter, and it starts with Suki saying to Christine, she's telling Christine that it picks up right where the last episode left off, and Suki's telling Christine that Robyn gets the luggage rack, that she just kind of takes it. She didn't even ask Kody if she wants it or not. And then it goes back and forth between all of them. Kody says he doesn't remember anything about the luggage rack. Mary thinks it's real petty that they're talking about the luggage rack. This was the episode for me, I will say this, because Kody talks a lot in this episode. This is going to play a lot into everything I say. Kody says a lot in this. He's very forgiving of Mary. And Christine and Janelle, he is constantly coming for and saying that they're always talking about him. They're always comparing their lives to Robyn. He even at one point says that David and Christine will never enjoy their lives. Something like that, because they're constantly comparing themselves to he and Robyn, which is just so ridiculous. Christine just had a new book that came out. Janelle is living her happy life in North Carolina, raising a farm now, starting a farm and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's been like a year. And so this whole ideology that Kody has, that they're still so obsessed with he and Robyn, is so ridiculous to me. But this was the episode where I really felt like Mary, it's almost weird. It's almost kind of like Stockholm Syndrome. Like, she is so... I understand a little bit. I mean, there's been a lot of allegations and stuff that have come out about Mary, but I understand now why the other wives don't want anything to do with her. She makes so many excuses for Kody. Not really so much for Robyn, but for Kody. I mean, it's very obvious that Mary is still in love with Kody. And I understand that after all these years of marriage, but, like, he did her so dirty. And the first, episode or 2 of the reunion, I kind of thought Mary saw the truth. But this episode, she made so many excuses for Kody, and I just was like, girl, you are delusional. Like, she is really damaged. I mean, it's really kind of sad to watch, because Mary you can tell she kind of thinks she's got it all together, but she still is so damaged by what Kody did to her. And Kody is, so defensive and forgiving of Mary, and so accusatory of Janelle and Christine. And Janelle and Christine are the ones that have moved on. Like, they're done. And Mary is still, in it. And it's really sad. It's really, I mean, anytime anything would come up and Suki would ask all of them, Kody would say it was ridiculous, Mary would defend Kody, and Janelle and Christine would say the truth, and their stories aligned. It was bizarre to even watch. But Mary's a grown woman. I mean, you know, get your asses in therapy. Do some therapy. They talked about therapy in this episode, but get your asses in some therapy. Do some work on this, you know? Anyway, Mary thinks it's petty about the luggage rack. Christine says, and I didn't think the luggage rack was petty at all. I thought it was a metaphor for their entire relationship, of which Christine says that it's a metaphor for everything that ever happened. She said, because it's Cody saying, I'm going to take what's best and I'm going to leave you the rest, which is exactly how he acted towards all of them. Cody says it's all very trite. I don't know if it was on their homeschooling of their kids, if trite was on the spelling test this week, but he used the word trite like 3 or 4 times during this episode. I like the word trite, but maybe not 3 or 4 times in an episode, unless it was on Brisha's spelling test this week. I don't know. She's 24. She's still being homeschooled. Anyway, so is she the one that they made the vanity for? Oh, no, that was that little girl, wasn't it? I can't remember what her name is. I don't know what her name is, but anyway, let's come up with a feather. Let's come up with a name for her feather. Chantilly lace. Anyway, he says that Janelle and Christine are divorced from him and all they ever do is talk about him. What? All Janelle, first of all, this is what's baffling to me, is that anytime Suki asks him about something that Christine and Janelle say, he says, all they ever do is talk about me. Okay, hold on a second. Suki is in an interview asking Christine and Janelle questions about things that happened on the show that is about your family and your relationship, okay? In the context of that, she didn't ask any questions about, like, well, first of all, you can't ask any questions about the kids. Not one question can you ask about the kids or Garrison or anything, okay? There were several times during the interview when Cody looked directly at production and said, this has gone too far, or I'm not answering that. He looked right at production and said it. I was like, what is the deal here? Like, are they so afraid that Cody's gonna say, I'm fucking off this? Because people have insinuated that TLC, like, this is their bread and butter. I don't know if the production realizes this show is dead, okay? And if all the people that people are interested in, nobody's interested in Kody and Robyn anymore. They bring, like, Robyn literally brings nothing to the show. They shouldn't even have had her in the reunion because she responds to nothing. She won't watch. The only clip she watched out of the entire 4-part episode was when Kody was talking about how he was gazing at her at the church, and then she was smirking and smiling. That was the only clip that she would watch out of all of it. She brings nothing to the table whatsoever. So this whole ideology that must have been on my spelling week because I've now said that twice, but that Janelle and Christine are obsessed with Kody is like, and Robyn is like so ridiculous. I mean, it's the other way around. They're the ones that are still talking about it. But in the context that he said that, it's like, you're on a reunion show. They're asking them questions. It's not like they're just like sitting there talking about it, you know, over coffee. You know, it's like they're just randomly, it's being asked these, what are they supposed to do? Not answer the questions like you, Robyn, and Mary? Mary won't really even answer some of the questions. And I'm like, this is a show about you. Of course they're going to be talking about you. It's a show about you, right? Then they talk about like his infatuation with like appearance and the bigger picture of how they appear to everybody being so important to Kody, and that it's not really about what's in the inside, it's how they appeared to everybody. Well, if you go back in time and you look at how the show started, and that they're so accused of all these lies and stuff now, well, now it makes sense, because Kody was always more concerned with impressing people that they were this perfect family than really telling the truth. And now the lies are catching up with him. A lot of things that Kody and Robyn said, I'm like, do you guys even watch your own show back? Which Kody has said that he watches the show back. So what's interesting to me is a lot of things that they said were never true. I'm like, there were literally episodes. There were episodes where we saw it. The audience saw it to be true. Like Robyn at one point says towards the end, they're asking about like courting and all this kind of stuff, and she says little church kisses. I'm like, little church kisses? That's not true. When Christine was in the hospital having Truly, you kissed him as he left to go to the hospital, which was a big no-no anyway. And baby, that was no little church kiss. That was no little church kiss, because Christine insinuates that maybe Kody and Robyn were having sex before they got married, okay? And so she's like, no, and she's like, that never, I'm like, you guys kissed a lot. I remember those episodes. Long before, she said never before they were married, that when he proposed to her, he slammed his face into her, and that was the only kiss they ever had, little church kisses. I'm like, I'm pretty sure last summer I watched you guys kissing quite a bit before you were married. So that, there's no truth. And then they say that they're rewriting, other people are rewriting history, and I'm like, you literally are rewriting history to your audience. We watched the show. You signed up for this. There's factual evidence on the TV show of you guys kissing, and now you're saying that never happened. So they go on to talk about how he was so concerned about what happened on the outside. David says, because David was, you know, like, his sister was married to a polygamist. He's dated polygamous women. He says that men, that Kody wants to control the women by having them argue, because if they're arguing, then they're all looking to him, and then he's in control. I thought that was such an interesting insight. I had really never thought of it that way before. I was like, oh my God, he's like, a lot of polygamous men do that. I thought that was really interesting. He said the men love it because they're always in competition, and the men like ruin them, and then they rule over them. And I was like, and that's exactly what happened. I was like, this is crazy. And he even said he was apprehensive when he first started dating Christine, because he didn't know, like, how damaged she was by this. I thought that was really, like, Christine and David and Janelle were so honest in this. So anyway, then Suki asks Mary if Kody puts Kody first. This is where I was like, Mary, I mean, anybody watching the show or participating in the family to ask, does Kody put himself first? Are you kidding? How about to your kid, Mary? Does Kody put himself first? How about to your other kids that you claim are your kids? Did Kody put himself first? 100%. 100%. Kody had you sit in a house for 3 years, okay, for his stupid rules, and never once came over and visited you, even though you were following the rules. And when Suki asks Mary if Kody puts himself first, she, like, thinks about it. And then she says, sometimes he does, but we all do. We're human. I'm like, Mary, what is going on? Did Kody get to you 2 weeks ago when he called you up? Did he get you all in check before the reunion? Like, Mary, what is going on? You know he always puts himself first. We all see it. You lived it. You have to see it. And I'm like, she is so damaged at this point. It's so sad. She doesn't want to say that Kody is a bad guy at all. And, Kody says that he doesn't really appreciate beauty in women whatsoever. And he says that Robyn doesn't talk about her makeup. They do. I'm like, you're right. Robyn never talks about her makeup. You talk about how pretty she is, you know, but they're talking about the differences in how they were treated. It's not just about the makeup. They're talking about the camping trip. And they're talking about how Robyn would do the hair and the makeup, her makeup and the hair for the kids, while Janelle and Christine were cooking for everybody. And then later Suki asked Robyn, she's like, I pitched in sometimes. Well, I remember the episode. They've shown it so many times, of clips of it, of Robyn sitting there, putting on her makeup, with Kody sitting right there, and Christine and Janelle sweating buckets, preparing all the food. I didn't see any scenes where Robyn pitched in and helped. So, and production's always been on the side of Kody and Robyn. So why they wouldn't show Robyn pitching in so hard, I don't know, you know? He said it's sad that Christine and David are talking about he and Robyn on a reunion show, because he says, I just saw the clip, because Suki shows in the clip, and I'm like, on a show that's about you guys, okay? We're not talking about in real life, okay? When they're moving Janelle cross country, buying homes to Airbnb, like, they're not consumed with you the way that you guys are with them. It's weird. And he says they just need to move on. And I'm like, he is so sick. Like, this is literally the mental gymnastics that he plays. Like, I'm not big into diagnoses, and the words that we talk about today of narcissism and gaslighting are so played out. But when you look up the definition of gaslighting, like, making the other person feel like they're crazy, like, this is literally, like, in real time, in this reunion, even to Suki, he does it. He gaslights the hell out of Suki. You literally see in real time how sick Kody Brown is. And I think this is why they don't want to do the sit-downs, because with, like, all of them in a reunion, which, by the way, she brings up at the end, Janelle and Christine are both like, yeah, we'll do it. And especially Janelle. She's like, I think we can get to the point to do that. She doesn't even ask Robyn and Kody. And she doesn't ask Mary either, because she knows that they won't do it. But I don't think Kody wants to sit in front of them, because he can't control the narrative. If they go, Kody, that's bullshit, this did happen. He can't, like, I mean, he can't just go, well, I'm not going to answer that and look off to production, you know? Suki says that she thinks that, because he says, like, they just need to move on. Suki says, I think they have moved on. He goes, he's not convinced. He goes, I'm not convinced that they moved on. Well, maybe you need to move on from your not being convinced. Janelle says he's very concerned about being cleaned up and the makeup and the appearance of everybody. I'm like, they are still talking about this camping trip. Like, from all these years ago. I mean, I understand it's pertinent to what happened the last season, kind of. But this is where I'm like, you're doing a 4-part reunion, and there's nothing from this season that you're really asking about. It's all from stuff from years ago. Like, this show is dead. This show is absolutely dead. Because a major part of this season was the kids and Garrison, but they won't answer any questions about that. So you can't ask anything about what happened in this season because there's all these off topics that they're not even allowed to talk about on there. Who said they're not allowed to talk about it? The participants. I mean, it's a reunion that is controlled by the participants. Who is in control of the show? TLC, don't cut them a paycheck. Don't cut them a paycheck if they're not willing to participate fully. And so Robyn says it's not true about the camping. She says she remembers pitching in 2. She doesn't even know what they're talking about. I'm like, did you watch the episode, Robyn? And that's when I said, I'm like, this show is dead. Robyn says that she doesn't think that Kody cares that much about appearance. Well, you did seem to care about it when the clip was playing and you were smirking to yourself. You thought it was real cute when they were talking about the camping trip because they showed that 2 episodes ago. And you were smirking to yourself about it. So you do know that Kody cares about it. And Kody says on the show he cares about appearance. Now he says he doesn't. But previously he did say he cared about appearance. She says that they're bringing up things that don't track to her whatsoever. I'm like, the camping thing has been brought up like literally every season since it happened. What do you mean it doesn't track for you? And I'm like, Suki brought it up. It's on the show. You should, I mean, this is your job. You should know what's on your show. Christine says she wasn't respected as a wife or a sister wife by Kody, and he told her that he didn't respect her and he didn't respect her as a person. Kody says she didn't have respect for him, but make it all about me if you want to. That's him, the gaslighting again, turning it back around. He said he wouldn't have started being so mean, but he was counterpunching because they were talking about him first. And I'm like, not really. I remember those conversations. I mean, one of them, the infamous one, is, you know, like a knife in my kidney. That was you starting that, Kody. That wasn't Christine starting it. That was her after you hadn't visited her house in 2 years. Janelle, you hadn't visited her house in 2 years. Mary, you hadn't visited her house in 3 years. Were those counterpunches to them talking about you? Because they stood by your back. They followed your rules, even at the expense of losing their own kids. But you're saying that they were counterpunches. This is what was so weird about this. He was like, they were talking about me publicly. Well, at the time, the counterpunches were happening on the show, and you were filming the show, so you couldn't have known what they were talking about on TV because it was being filmed. So, no, they were things that you were reacting to in the show. He makes a bunch of excuses about how he was so reactionary to what they were saying, but that was while the show was being filmed. It wasn't afterwards. Anyway, he said he wouldn't have started being mean if they hadn't been mean first. And then she says maybe they'll sit on the couch together and talk. And he says no, they won't do that. And he doesn't see the point in all of them sitting down together. And he's like, they have kids together and they'll be connected together. That people tell them that all the time. Like, you and the ex-wives have kids together, so you'll be connected together forever. And he goes, God help us all, or something like that. Then it's commercial break. And then first they're talking about this whole, how like Robyn was introduced to Kody. And I'm like, we are literally on season 19 talking about season 1 shit. Let's just put this in perspective, okay? I don't know what season we are of Orange County now in the Housewives. I think it's like season like 14 or something. But they're bringing back people from the past. But it would be like talking about Vicki Gunvalson from like season 1 when she was like sitting in her home office like selling insurance. Like, they don't bring that stuff up anymore. It's not pertinent to the show. Like, the idea that we are still talking about how Kody was introduced to Robyn is so bizarre. Except for the fact that it shows what liars they are. Because he talks about how it was love at first sight. They show this clip about them locking eyes and he just couldn't break away. And I'm like, I thought the story was that Mary met her and then brought her over for you to meet. I thought that's the story that we heard years and years and years ago, that it was Mary that met Robyn. And Suki seems to think that too. And then they show this clip of him not wanting her to go to church with Brisha and Mattress and Chiffon because then some man will think she's single and then he'll just want her so bad. And she's like, oh. Baby, don't nobody want Robyn Brown, okay? Nobody's trying to get with Robyn Brown, okay? She's all yours. She's all yours. She's so loyal and obedient. She is all yours, baby. Keep sweet, pray and obey. Robyn Brown is all yours, Mr. Kody Brown. Anyway, he says it's a great memory. He starts crying after this and gets real emotional when they show it. He says, you can't lose when God is your wingman. And he's talking about, like, God is his wingman when, like, he met her in church. He tells a story about when he saw her in church and that they held his gaze in church. They held each other's gaze in church. Later, Christine says the same thing happened to them. And I'm like, he keeps on talking about holding her gaze in church and that she wouldn't look away and he wouldn't look away. And I'm like, oh, holding her gaze in church? Most of us call that eye fucking, okay? I call that eye fucking. So what you were doing was you were eye fucking her in church when you had 3 wives at home, okay? That's what you were doing. You were eye gazing her. You locked eyes with her and you wouldn't look away. You were eye fucking her is what you were doing, baby. That's what it's called. It's called eye fucking is what it's called. And then Suki says something about, was this before Mary introduced her to Kody? And he's like, Mary didn't introduce her. And then Mary says they were together. So Kody says he first saw Robyn in church and locked eyes with her. Mary says that they stopped to say hi to some friends on the side of the road. And she tells a completely different story. It's so weird. And then Kody, who has seen Mary's interview at this point, says that he saw her in church and then they stopped by. It doesn't add up. It's Kody and Mary not getting their stories straight. And as they drive away from this saying hi to the friends, Kody says that Mary said that he should look into that. Then they were at a dance and all the other wives had left or something. And Mary says, you should go get this last dance. Could I have this dance for the rest? A little urban cowboy, Anne Murray for you. And that he asked Mary, if he asked Robyn if he could have the last dance. And so they did. And she was just so vulnerable. And while they were dancing this last dance, they just talked about their whole life, and it was like they knew each other their whole life. Christine said she had that bolt of lightning gaze too. Kody don't remember that though. Kody said he didn't have it within the other wives. And I'm like, when she says she had the lightning bolt, Robyn had the lightning bolt, I'm like, the men in that church must not have been real eye-catching, okay? If Kody Brown was getting all the women to eye fuck him, there must have not been a whole lot of good-looking men in that church, is all I'm thinking, okay? That all these women were just looking to Kody Brown, because none of the women were looking at the other men eye fucking them. So why were they all eye fucking Kody Brown? Was he the only thing that was there to look at? I don't know. He said it was romantic. Kody said he didn't have the same connection with the other women. I'm like, that is so hurtful to them. Mary said that it was romantic and they were both single. He said it was a meet cute, which is one of my most, I just said this in a vlog the other day before I watched this. For those of you that don't know, I vlog every day. I hate that word. I hate that trope. It is so played out, the meet cute. I'm so over it. The fact that Kody Brown used it, I was just about gagged on my own spit. I was like, Mary and Kody Brown, the meet cute we didn't know we needed. They buy the same shirt and wear it like twins. You mean Mary made you all the same matching pajamas? That must be where that came from. And then he'd wink at her and she thought that was real cute and stuff like that. My husband used to do that to me. I did think that was kind of cute. But he was winking at everybody in the church. He was winking at anybody that would take him. Anybody. Mary said it was real cute and it made her feel like she was real special. She said she can't remember. Suki's like, when's the last time you felt like that? She can't remember. Why are you so defensive of this man then? It's beyond me. Janelle says that Robyn had the longest courtship ever and it was like a year. And that if she had a courtship that long, she probably wouldn't have stayed with Kody. This is going to stop in a second. Hold on. Okay, I knew this was going to go long today, but I didn't know it was going to go this long. My Lord. Okay, Christine said that everyone knew that she and Kody had this love story, but they would never acknowledge it. I'm like, because Christine, I think you're the only one that really thought it was a love story. Kody didn't say it was a love story. Nobody else is talking about you and Cody's love story. It kind of makes me sad for Christine. She lived in delusion for years. She still lives in delusion. When Kody starts talking about his sexual experience, Christine has no clue what he's talking about, but we'll get to that in just a second. And then she says that everyone knew they had a love story from the beginning, talking about Robyn and Kody, but they had to keep it from all of them. And it's just another layer of betrayal and lying. And I'm like, I agree with that. And this is where Christine says it's a layer of betrayal and lying to them, but it was sorrow for Robyn and Kody because they couldn't express that to each other. I thought, this is where Christine has grown so much that she can see that it was sad for Kody and Robyn too, that they couldn't express it for each other. Janelle, and this is where I was like, Janelle and Christine are very forgiving of them. And Cody says that polygamy doesn't work if you're going to fall in love, and he fell in love hard. He says they were accused all the time, and it was all that they were like, he loved her more than all of them. He goes, it was just crap. Suki says maybe the viewers saw something that the Browns didn't. And I'm like, the second that Robyn stepped in, we all saw that you were more in love with Robyn than anybody else. And then that's when the show, people got so intrigued with the show because it was like you're trying to keep it up. We were like, how is this going to even work? Then they show this clip about Robyn and Cody being in a monogamous relationship, and Cody's like, will you have me? And Robyn doesn't seem real sure about it. Robyn watched this one and she smiles the whole time because he just wants her now. Now that confirms that we know what she wanted all along. This is when Cody talks about the sexual experience that he had in college that went against his religion. Okay. So they've only talked about this one other time on the show. Okay. One other time, and I think it was earlier in the season. Okay, I'm going to go in here in my notes before I get into this. Mary said, so he says that Mary knew about it, but no one else before Robyn, because he trusted Mary, okay? Robyn told him, and then he felt safe with Robyn, so he told her within like a month of them dating. Janelle says he needs to justify all the reasons why Janelle is so perfect, or why Robyn is so perfect, so that's yet another reason. I could trust her, she was so trustworthy, I shared the secret with her. Janelle said Janelle said something about it's about having sex before marriage. Christine says it's like he tries to get rid of all the good parts of their marriage, which I do think he tries to do. She doesn't know what she did for herself not to be safe, that he wouldn't trust her. And it makes her wonder how close Robyn and Cody actually were before they got married. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Because they show these clips of like Robyn and Cody together, and she's like, the fact that he trusted her so quickly makes me wonder, like, were they intimate before? I mean, she doesn't say it like that, but that's what she insinuates. Suki asks Robyn how the sexual experience sharing came up, and Robyn says that she had her own experiences and that it's a big deal within their religion. Okay, now I don't know about you, but he uses the word sexual experience, okay? To me, that is code for having, like, gay experiences, okay? Then people say they've had experiences. That's like, oh, I was in college, I had some experiences. The other thing is that Robyn goes on to say that she shared with him her own experiences and then asked him if he had experienced the same thing. Well, at the time that she met Cody, she had 2 kids. Christine insinuates that the sexual, and I don't really care, okay? But I'm just like, the fact that they keep it such a secret, because it's so against the religion that they don't even follow anymore and whatever. But it is kind of like weird that they're like, and Cody doesn't want to talk about it anymore because he says he'll get in trouble with Robyn or something like that. Robyn doesn't seem like she cares at all. But Christine insinuates that what they're talking about is having premarital sex, okay? She's like, it's the sexual experiences that he had sex before they got married. I'm like, Christine, are you really that dumb? Like, you don't understand what he's talking about? He's talking about a gay experience that he had. Because if that were the case, sex before marriage, when Robyn is sharing her experiences that she had before she got married to Cody, before she met Cody, she had 2 kids, okay? Before she met Cody, she had 2 kids. So those sexual experiences weren't, the sexual experience of sex before marriage, she had 2 kids. So she must have been talking about before the 2 kids. So she had 2 kids before that's not the sexual experience they're talking about. They're talking about Cody having a gay experience. That's why they use the word sexual experience. I don't know why they're keeping it such a secret and doing all these like words and stuff like that. And I'm like, it can't be about just premarital sex, because Robyn is sharing her experience with Cody and saying, did you have those same experiences? She wasn't even in that religion before she married her first husband. So she's not talking about premarital sex. She's talking about gay experiences herself. So they're outing themselves on television, I guess, or whatever. Not outing themselves, but outing their sexual experiences, which who cares? How many people have same-sex experiences when they're younger and, they're just experiencing the world sexually and things like that? Janelle defines herself as a earth mama. She's down with wine, food, sex, and everything. I kind of lived. I was like, yes, Janelle, earth mama, go. So I don't know what this big secret, he says he's old. Baby, share it all. Then Suki asks Kody if this was something that was part of his past. Or no, Robyn asks him out if her experiences were something that was part of his past as well. And he says yes. Then said that, then Kody says that Robyn threw him down in a garden of a trust. That's why he could trust Robyn. It was a garden of something. I don't know. It must have smelled like roses. It smelled to me like shit. But anyway, then he says Mary and Robyn both asked him about it. I think it's weird that they both asked him. I mean, do you remember when they go to his hometown and all of his friends were like, we thought Kody was gay, and they flash up all those pictures of his flock of seagull hairdo that was like the blonde highlights and all that kind of stuff, and all those girls were like, we thought Kody was gay. Well, it would make sense then if Mary got with him and she was like, did you ever think you were gay? And then the experience came out. It would make sense. Why are we talking around it? Why are we like, I mean, it's so weird to me. Why even bring it up if you're not going to like, I mean, it was 50 years ago. It's not like, I mean, it's just weird to me. I don't know. But then he says he just trusted them both. He says he didn't have the depth of intimacy with the others, with Christine and Janelle. And I'm like, that is so hurtful. Not to just Janelle and Christine, but to your kids, to say you didn't have the depth of intimacy, which means those kids were just produced out of just like lust and duty. Like, that is so sad if I was those kids watching it. He says he and Mary had a good start. I'm like, this man has no edit button. To call a 20, 30-year marriage a good start is so painful. I can't even imagine watching that back. He says love dies from a million paper cuts. I mean, this man should be on RuPaul's Drag Race because he has so many catchphrases. Most of them he steals from other people, but he says love dies with a million paper cuts. He says he loved them all. He says when a woman trashes you in television, he was very reactionary and he didn't love them in that moment. I'm like, but you were on the show filming it, not when you were reactionary. You know, you in that moment, you weren't knowing what they were saying on TV. Mary doesn't know how to respond to the fact that Kody said that at one time he trusted her. Suki asks him if he had other sexual experiences before. Suki straight up asks him, and he says, Suki, I was a high school none of this made sense to me. He goes, I was a high school athlete. Then it's like he switches what the experience was, and he says he was Mormon naughty. Now, listen, he goes on to define this as like hugging and kissing and smooching and things like that. But we know from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives that Mormon naughty is doing a little butt sex. Okay, that's what it is. That means you don't lose your virginity. We know that now, that these Pentecostals and all them people, that those evangelicals and the Mormons, that butt sex means that you don't. So apparently he's into the butt sex and sexual experiences. I don't know, okay? But that's apparently, we know that. It's weird, like, they explain it on the show, that's like, you put it, there's no motion to the ocean, it just sits, okay? The hot dog just sits in the bun, but it don't move, okay? Or you do it the other way. I've had friends of mine, girlfriends of mine, that grew up in, like, fundamental Christian religions, and they would say that. They'd say, like, I'm not saying who my girlfriends are, but they would say, I know one person watching the show knows what the fuck I'm talking about right now, okay? Watching this show, watching me right now, my show. I'm so embarrassed to talk about this. I don't know why. But anyway, that they would just, like, if they did it in the butt, then it didn't count because it wasn't in the vagina. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, we got to get off this. Okay. He goes, he was a wrestler. He won't really discuss any more of it out of respect for his wife. Christine goes on and acts like they're talking the sexual experiences about sex before marriage. And I'm like, and she goes, sexual experience, whatever that means. And I'm like, is she really that dumb? Like, is Christine really that dumb? And Suki asks if it changes anything for them. And she goes, no, it's just another, like if they did have sex before. She goes, no, it's just another lie. All they ever did, Kody and Robyn, all they ever did was lie. They're not to be trusted. She just would have been more hurt. She said if she found out that they did have sex before. She said it's really hurtful to hear now, even after everything she's been through and how much she's grown. Robyn says he didn't kiss her and didn't until he asked her to marry him. I'm like, I'm pretty sure on this show we saw differently. But anyway, she says it wasn't a sexy or romantic kiss, and that after that they just had little church kisses. Just little church kisses. He tells Suki talking about his sexuality is off limits. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He uses the word sexuality, which I think is really, you mean sexual experiences, sexuality, sexual behavior, premarital sex. This is the thing for me. If it was just premarital sex, he would say premarital sex, right? Because if you were watching this and you said sexual experience, because I think he's so worried about being judged. Sexual experience leads more to if it was premarital sex and he don't want nobody to think he ever had no gay experience, don't you think he'd say premarital sex? I mean, if I was in Kody Brown's shoes, which thank God I'm not, if I was in Kody Brown's shoes and I didn't want nobody to think I'd ever had no gay experience, which we already know he thinks that way, he would say premarital sex. He wouldn't say sexual experience, right? Anyway, he says he didn't think it was cool that Suki even asked him about it. I'm like, baby, this is your paycheck, okay? This is your reunion that you're signing up for. He says he gives a little bit, and then Suki takes advantage of it, and she went too far. I'm like, okay, whatever. I got so much more to go. Robyn says that Kody, then they go commercial break. Robyn says that Kody will be, I trimmed my beard last night. It is itching so bad. Okay, and I got my hair cut today. Hi. Ooh, it doesn't look so good with that hat on, does it? Anyway, he says, Robyn says that Kody will be enough for her. They talk about being polygamous in the future. He says polygamy has been taken away. She says polygamy has been taken away from her. She will always be loyal to Kody. She will always be loyal to him and stay by her side. If they broke up, Kody says, if he and Robyn broke up, they would never say anything bad about each other. I'm like, ooh, do I sniff an NDA out there? She says that he's coming out of his anger stage. And anybody that met him in the last 3 years would know him just for being angry. I'm like, he is so angry on this show right now. How are you saying he's coming off with, if he gets so angry at Suki for even asking him a simple question. I'm not talking about the sexuality thing. I'm talking about simple questions, okay? He gets so angry at her. If this is him coming out of his angry phase, I would hate to see Kody Brown when he is full in on his angry phase. I would be not want to see that. Suki brings up marriage counseling when they went to this session. Christine says she's happier now. She says that the therapy session, it was when they had them place themselves around Kody. She says that it was when she realized how very little she mattered in the family. They keep on showing her she's moving from space to space, but she's always by Janelle, which I thought was interesting. I didn't notice that at the time, but now in retrospect, she's always standing next to Janelle. She says that no one had their needs met. Robyn stands up for herself, and she realized that then. Robyn says she just talks Kody to death, or Christine says that, and then they ask Robyn, and she's like, I just talk until Kody shuts his mouth and then I can listen. She talks about women standing up for themselves and she's not going to fight with a man on the level that Kody wants, that men like to fight with women the way they would fight with men, and that's when you've lost. And she's not going to fight with Kody like a man. She's going to fight with Kody like a woman. I didn't really understand that whole conversation, but it apparently works for her. So anyway, she asks Kody if he's happier now, and he doesn't really answer the question. He says the goal was always to have the family work together. He says it's happy now in his home with Robyn, but it's constantly his exes blaming him. But when he's in his home just with Robyn, he's very happy. She asks him if he would do it all again, and he says no. Like, he thanks and he goes no. She doesn't say, and he rephrases it over time, but I'm like, you just literally erased like 18 kids by saying no. Like, you wouldn't do it all over again? And he does catch himself, and he does say that he's grateful for the experience. Afterwards, he corrects himself, and he says he's grateful for the experience. He's moving forward now, but he would not do it over again, but he's grateful for the experience. He says if he went back in time, he could not fairly answer for another 10 years what he would say about the past. I'm like, this is really hurtful to your wives and your kids. Like, and he does say at some point that he's really grateful that he had the kids and all this kind of stuff. Mary says she believes in polygamy, that polygamy can work. Kody says that he would never get another wife because they already failed at polygamy. Robyn says if she had a guarantee and Kody was up for it, yeah, she would do it again, but she doesn't have that. And she would need to have God talk to her like a burning bush. I'm like, okay, girl. How about a burning eyebrow, baby? Because those eyebrows look like they burn. Okay. Or maybe that was God's burn on you. I don't know. Then the very end of it is Janelle talking about going on dates. She don't want to be on them weird dating apps, she says. She says she's done with flashy and high-maintenance men. And Suki's like, Janelle's real funny on the reunion. And she's like, are you talking about Kody? And she's like, I mean, take it as you wish. She says she wants somebody solid. Mary says she wants somebody that matches her energy. Suki really pushes Mary to start dating again. Mary says it's been a long time since she's seen any action. Janelle says sex is important to her, and it's the one misconception about the show that she really doesn't understand and she gets upset about. I mean, I don't know why. Cody said that you were obsessed with his rock hard abs and his bun of steel for years. She says that people think she's she says asexual, but like that she's not a sexual person on the show. And she says she's a very sexual person. She's an earth mama. She is into food, wine, and sex. Eat, pray, love, baby. Go, baby, go, Mama Janelle. I think she should get her own show and they should get rid of that Mama June and call it Mama Janelle. I think we should have that show. Just have her, remember that show back in the day on HBO, Real Sex? Have her be doing all that Kama Sutra real sex kind of shit. With Janelle from Sister Wives, I would live, baby. I would watch that show all day long. And then Suki thanks her and says that she hopes that someday maybe they can get everybody on the couch to talk. And Janelle says maybe. She's kind of open to it. She asked, I guess she has asked Mary. She asked Mary if they could sit on a couch and talk, and Mary says that she's still, that they're still holding on to the past, and she doesn't think that they'll be able to do that as long as they're holding on to the past. She says, then Suki says, you're single and ready to mingle, and she goes, I am, and then she thanks her for it. Cody says he would never try this again, like this show and none of it. I'm like, this show that's paid your way for the last 19 years, he would have missed the pain, but he would have missed the dance. I'm like, is that Garth Brooks? Who sings that song? But I would have missed the dance. I'm like, are all these sayings through the years all been from country music songs? Hey, Kody Brown, I got one for you. D-I-V-O-R-C-E. Okay, so anyway, I didn't even have that in my notes. That was impromptu, and that was good. My dad used to love that song back in the day. What was that Tom T. Hall song, Sneaky Snake? Oh my God, there you go, Kody Brown. There's another one, Sneaky Snake. He does say that he would, if he had missed out on the experience, he wouldn't have all the kids, and he's really grateful for all the kids. Suki says, and he goes, but we're done and we're past that now, and we got to move on. And Suki goes, or maybe we've just begun. And I'm like, we've only just begun. I hope we get 20 more seasons because I love doing these reactions, but I hope they mix it up a little bit. The only way to save this show is if Robyn and Kody Brown get a divorce. That would be, but I would be over here reacting to it every day. Oh, they just came to start doing the landscaping. And trust me, if Brescia, if you ever want to make a crossover to Love After Lockup, you would be an instant star, and I would be there to watch and react. Anyway, that was it. I'm out for Sister Wives for this season. Let me know what you thought about all of it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.